I transferred the pencil drawing onto the silk. And today we are going to use markers and dyes as colors for the resist. First, I take a permanent marker and in the places where I want the resist to be black, I trace the drawing with it. Let that be the body of the butterfly and the main part of the wing. As you can see, this marker gives a thin neat line. And now I have a permanent marker of a different color and a different manufacturer. This marker behaves completely differently. It spreads out on the silk and it gives you a wide line. But I wanted to make the edge of the butterfly's wing and some small details in this color, in blue. Now the textile marker, a beautiful purple color. It also spreads on the silk. We are going to use only transparent resist today, or gutta, no matter how you call it. It's clear that if you draw transparent on white, the resist line will become white. If you draw with the transparent resist on a blue marker line, the resist line will become blue. There are some nuances here, which I will tell you about later. But for now, I apply resist to all the lines that are in our butterfly. The resist is gasoline-based, so it will not become stiff after drying. When tracing thin marker lines with the resist, you should try to get exactly in the line of the marker. You will see why later. All the lines that I want to leave white, I didn't trace with marker at all. I mean that around the white parts of the butterfly I would like to make the resist white, and it will be white because of the white color of silk. And if the transparent resist is applied on pink silk, the resist line will be pink, but more about this later. A blue marker line. I circle both sides so that this white line is retained. And the purple line, I'm only circling the middle with one line. And we will see how it turns out, because some markers are almost impervious to dyes. This is how I'm making the big dots. They will remain white afterwards, which is obvious. And now I'm going to start painting. I'm using dyes for silk and wool, but I'll come back to the resist after a while. Here's where I forgot to put the resist around, but that's okay, it's an easy fix. And here's another missing line. To avoid waiting for the dyes to dry, I got a hairdryer. Once again, I'm going back to the resist. And as I said before, if you apply clear resist to colored silk, the resist line will take on the color of the silk. In my case, crimson. And I'm going to put the big dots again. I mean, I keep adding a little varied details that will make our butterfly more interesting and complex. I thought it would be better to keep the palette in the frame, so it would be clear to you how I use the dyes. No complicated color mixing this time, though. Notice how the crimson veins show up on the butterfly. The bottom of the butterfly's wings I will be dyeing with a blue color. It's darker than orange, that's why the stripes are more pronounced. And as far we have two ways to make our clear resist colored. The first is to apply the resist to the marker line. And the second way is to apply it to colored silk. And later there will be a third way. Closer to the body of the butterfly, I will change the color to black, making the crimson veins even more expressive. And also we can play with the variety of the butterfly's body by applying a clear resist to the green color and then by glazing to change this base green. And here's a close-up of all our contours, which instead of being clear have different colors and shades. Some of them I like, but some of them not so much. In those places where the marker line is thin and I didn't get exactly in this line with the resist, there are such white gaps, and they interfere with the whole perception of the picture and make our image fractional. In other words, you can see that these gaps here are accidental. They shouldn't be here. To remedy this issue, I again take a permanent marker, not very fresh, it's a bit dry, and start covering these white gaps. Immediately the picture becomes more whole. And you can even draw new details with this marker. In this place I think it's better not to hide the white line, but on the contrary, to emphasize it. And here I took a textile marker, and as you can see, it's not good for overlapping white lines. Firstly, it doesn't cover the white color nicely, and secondly, it spreads a lot. You see, the line turns out sloppy, even shaggy. I will demonstrate to you separately how it blurs. In some cases it's appropriate, but to cover the white resist is not suitable. But such a permanent marker is very good. And it turns out that the third way to make a transparent resist colored is to overlap it with a colored marker. Only it's necessary to try which marker is better for this, which is good. But you can still play with the textile marker or with a permanent marker. As you can see, sometimes they might be used in place of resist. Sure, they don't give 100% replacement, but at least you can draw some details with them.